Welcome to the Stoic Wisdom Channel. Dear friends, in our daily lives, we often encounter seemingly trivial situations that can easily test our patience. It could be when you are stuck in traffic, disturbed by a colleague, or simply when your phone runs out of battery at the most inconvenient moment. These events themselves are not as important as how we react to them. And this is precisely when the wisdom of Stoicism becomes essential. Stoicism not only helps us overcome difficulties but also serves as a powerful tool to transform everyday frustrations into opportunities for personal growth and inner peace. The principles of Stoicism are not only meant for great philosophers but can also be applied to the life of every individual. They help us master our emotions and live with greater determination amidst the uncertainties of the world. Today, we will explore these principles together to understand how they can help you control your reactions, cultivate tranquility, and bring about profound personal transformation. Let us embark on this journey and discover how Stoicism can change your life. Stoicism and how to control anger in life. Anger is a natural and unavoidable emotion. All of us have experienced moments when anger suddenly flared up. This can happen when someone goes against your wishes, when you are treated unfairly, or simply when things do not go as expected. Anger is a part of human nature. But the way we manage and control it is what differentiates those who live a peaceful life from those who are constantly caught in a cycle of negative emotions. Stoicism, an ancient yet timeless philosophy, teaches us that anger is not an enemy to be completely eliminated. Instead, it is a signal, an opportunity for us to cultivate patience, compassion, and self-restraint. One of the core teachings of Stoicism is that while we cannot fully control what happens to us, we can control how we react to those situations. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "It is not what happens to you that troubles you, but how you perceive those events." This is the essence of controlling anger according to Stoicism. When you feel angry, ask yourself, what exactly is making me angry? Is it truly the actions of others? Or is it my own interpretation of those actions? Stoicism teaches us that our emotions, including anger, largely stem from how we perceive events in our lives. For example, if someone interrupts you during a meeting, your anger may arise because you feel disrespected. But if you pause and consider, does their action genuinely reflect a lack of respect? Or was it merely unintentional? By changing the way you evaluate the situation, you can lessen or even eliminate your feelings of anger. Stoicism does not encourage suppressing emotions but rather emphasizes a deep understanding of their origins. When you fully comprehend the reasons behind your anger, you can better regulate your response. Instead of reacting immediately with anger, you can take a moment to pause, reflect, and choose a more appropriate way to respond. This not only helps you avoid the negative consequences of anger but also allows you to maintain good relationships with those around you. Moreover, being aware of your anger also opens up the opportunity to develop compassion and understanding. When you recognize that anger is a natural and inevitable emotion, you become more empathetic toward others when they find themselves in similar situations. This not only helps improve social relationships but also brings you peace of mind. One of the great Stoic philosophers, Marcus Aurelius, once said, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself but to your perception of it. And you have the power to change that perception at any moment." This statement emphasizes that control over our emotions lies entirely in our own hands. Regardless of what happens, we always have the ability to choose the response that aligns best with our values and goals. The importance of controlling reactions and emotions. In life, we often face countless different emotions, ranging from joy and sadness to anger and anxiety. These emotions do not arise naturally but are usually triggered by events and circumstances that we encounter daily. However, the important point that Stoicism emphasizes is the awareness that our emotions are not necessarily caused by external events, but rather by the way we evaluate and perceive those events. According to Stoic philosophy, all the emotions we experience, including strong emotions such as anger or dissatisfaction, stem from our subjective judgments about a situation. In other words, it is not external actions or events that cause negative emotions, but rather the way we interpret and judge them. This is an extremely important realization because, once we understand this, we will recognize that we have complete control over and the ability to change our emotions. Let us consider a specific example. You are driving on the road, and suddenly another car recklessly cuts in front of you. The natural reaction of many people would be to become angry, feel offended, or even curse at the other driver. However, if you pause and think carefully, does that person's action truly constitute a personal offense against you? Or could it simply be an unintentional act not directed at you? Changing the way you perceive and evaluate the situation can help you control your anger and prevent it from dominating your mood or actions. Stoicism teaches that having a clear understanding of how emotions are formed is the first step to being able to control them. When you realize that your emotions are essentially the result of subjective judgments, you will understand that you can change your emotions by altering those judgments. This does not mean that you must deny or suppress your emotions, but rather that you should learn to examine and understand why you feel a certain way and, from there, determine a more reasonable way to respond. Consider another situation. You are in an important meeting, and someone unfairly criticizes you. Your initial feelings might be anger or sadness. However, instead of allowing those negative emotions to overwhelm you, you can ask yourself, what exactly is making me angry? Is it the unfair criticism? Or is it the fact that I feel threatened or that my self-esteem is hurt? By asking yourself such questions, you can evaluate the situation more objectively and thus choose a more appropriate response, rather than letting anger dictate your actions. Stoicism also teaches that when we clearly understand the origins of our emotions, we can change how we react in a more positive way. This not only helps reduce stress and conflict but also creates a more balanced and fulfilling life. When you realize that you have the power to control your emotions, you will no longer be a victim of circumstances but will instead become the master of your own life. A practical way to apply this principle is to regularly assess your emotions in different situations. For example, when you feel irritated or anxious, pause and ask yourself, what is making me feel this way? Is there another way to perceive this situation? Practicing this habit will gradually help you change your judgment patterns and better control your emotions. Summary of Stoicism. Stoicism emphasizes the importance of controlling reactions and emotions by understanding their origins. When you learn to change the way you evaluate situations, you will no longer allow negative emotions to dominate your life. Instead, you will live a more peaceful life with better emotional and psychological control. Practicing mindfulness and patience. In modern life, we are often caught up in the endless flow of work, responsibilities, and social relationships. These pressures can easily make us impatient, stressed, and frustrated. However, according to Stoic philosophy, these moments are not reasons for us to abandon our inner peace. On the contrary, they are opportunities for us to cultivate mindfulness and patience, two essential factors that help us live a more balanced and serene life. Mindfulness, the power of focusing on the present. Mindfulness is the concept of being fully aware of and paying complete attention to the present moment. This is an important skill that helps us cope with negative emotions, especially anger and anxiety. When practicing mindfulness, we learn to observe our emotions and thoughts without reacting immediately. This creates a gap between feeling and action, allowing us to choose a wiser way to respond. For example, when someone says something that upsets you, the natural reaction might be to respond immediately with harsh words. However, if you practice mindfulness, you can pause for a moment, recognize the irritation rising within you, and instead of acting on emotion, choose a different response, perhaps remaining silent or responding in a calm and composed manner. This gap, created through mindfulness, helps us avoid negative reactions that we might later regret. Mindfulness not only helps control anger but also allows us to fully enjoy life. By completely focusing on daily experiences, even small ones like drinking a cup of tea or listening to a piece of music, we can transform ordinary moments into profound and meaningful experiences. Patience, the art of waiting with tranquility. Patience is an important virtue in Stoic philosophy. However, it is not merely the ability to wait. In Stoicism, patience is the way we face waiting in life's challenges with a peaceful mindset. Unaffected by things beyond our control, we often encounter situations that test our patience, such as traffic jams, waiting in long lines, or when a project does not progress as expected. These moments can easily cause us to lose our temper and feel frustrated. However, instead of allowing negative emotions to take over, We can see these situations as opportunities to cultivate patience. When we understand that some situations are beyond our control, we can learn to accept them and remain calm. This, in turn, helps us reduce stress and maintain a more stable mindset in life. However, Stoicism teaches that these moments are opportunities for us to cultivate the virtue of patience, a virtue that helps us maintain inner tranquility despite external fluctuations. A practical way to develop patience is to change our expectations about life. Often, impatience arises from our expectation that everything must go according to our wishes, on time, and without obstacles. However, the reality is that life is always filled with events beyond our control. By accepting that obstacles and waiting are a natural part of life, we will feel less stressed when facing them. Moreover, instead of waiting passively, we can turn waiting time into an opportunity to do other meaningful activities, such as listening to an audiobook, practicing deep breathing, or reflecting on our day. This not only helps reduce discomfort but also makes time pass more quickly and meaningfully. Mindfulness and patience, the perfect combination. Mindfulness and patience are not merely separate concepts, they complement each other perfectly. When you practice mindfulness, you learn to accept and observe difficult moments without reacting immediately. This naturally helps you develop patience, as you no longer feel the need to act hastily or respond impulsively to every situation. Conversely, when you cultivate patience, you are simultaneously practicing mindfulness. You learn to slow down, observe everything more calmly, and fully appreciate each moment. The combination of mindfulness and patience helps you build a resilient and peaceful mindset in the face of life's challenges. In conclusion, practicing mindfulness and patience according to Stoic philosophy not only helps us better control our emotions but also leads to a more serene and fulfilling life. We cannot control everything that happens around us, but we can control how we react to and perceive those events. This is the true power that Stoicism offers each individual. The transience of all experiences and how to accept it. In Stoic philosophy, one of the core principles is the awareness of the transience of everything around us. Life, with all its joys and sorrows, ups and downs, and unforeseen events, is part of an ever-flowing stream of change. Understanding and accepting this impermanence not only helps us face difficulties more easily but also brings profound inner peace. Everything changes, the unchanging law of the universe. The Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius once said, "Everything changes, and we are merely waves in the endless flow of time." This reminds us that nothing lasts forever. From physical objects to emotions, thoughts, and even our relationships, this awareness, although sometimes seeming bleak, is actually a powerful motivation for us to live each moment to the fullest. When we realize that everything has a certain lifespan, we begin to understand that both difficulties and joys are only temporary. Anger will subside, sadness will fade, and even successes will eventually be replaced by new challenges. This understanding helps us reduce our attachment to the past or our worries about the future and, instead, focus on the present with an attitude of acceptance and serenity. Accepting temporariness, the first step to overcoming anxiety. When we face unexpected events in life, such as loss, failure, or sudden change, our first reaction is often resistance or anxiety. We wish for everything to remain stable and go according to plan. However, the reality is that nothing guarantees life will always follow the straight path we expect. That is why accepting the temporariness of everything is an essential part of maintaining inner calm and peace of mind. Stoicism teaches that instead of resisting change, we should accept it as an inevitable part of life. This acceptance does not mean we must surrender to circumstances but rather understand that everything, including hardships, will eventually pass. When we embrace temporariness, we free ourselves from negative emotions and create space to welcome new experiences with openness and tranquility. Practicing awareness of temporariness in daily life. The awareness of temporariness is not just an abstract theory but something that needs to be practiced in everyday life. One way to do this is to take time to observe the small changes happening around us. Look at nature. For example, the way winter gradually gives way to spring, how a new day begins when the sun rises, or how flowers bloom and then wither. These changes remind us that everything follows a cycle, and we cannot control everything. Another way to practice acceptance is to remind ourselves of temporariness when facing difficulties. When you encounter a stressful or unpleasant situation, take a moment to pause and remind yourself that both the emotions and the situation are only temporary. Instead of letting them take over your mind, view them as part of life's flow. They, too, will pass. The benefits of accepting temporariness. Accepting the temporariness of life not only helps us deal with difficulties more effectively but also brings significant mental benefits. When we no longer cling to the past or worry about the future, our minds become lighter and more at peace. This also helps us focus more on the present, live more fully with what we have, and cherish every moment that life offers. Accepting impermanence also helps us cultivate gratitude. When we realize that nothing lasts forever, we begin to appreciate what we have, from relationships to small achievements. This not only enriches our life experiences but also creates a deep sense of satisfaction with life. Connecting impermanence with personal growth. One of the most profound lessons from accepting impermanence is the realization that change and uncertainty are opportunities for us to grow and develop. Every time we overcome a challenge, we not only become stronger but also gain valuable lessons about ourselves and life. Instead of fearing change, we can embrace it as an essential part of the journey of personal development. In conclusion, impermanence is an inseparable part of life. When we learn to accept and embrace impermanence, we not only free ourselves from unnecessary worries and stress but also open the path to inner peace and contentment. This is the precious lesson that Stoicism offers us. Forgiveness and self-control. In life, none of us can completely avoid being hurt by others. Whether through careless words, unnecessary actions, or injustices we must endure, the feeling of being hurt and angry is natural. However, if we allow these negative emotions to control us, we will remain trapped in the cycle of anger and resentment. This is where Stoicism, with its deep principles of forgiveness and self-control, can help us free ourselves from this burden. Forgiveness, releasing oneself from the burden of resentment. Forgiveness, in the Stoic perspective, does not mean accepting or agreeing with the wrongful actions that others have committed against us. Instead, forgiveness is an act of freeing oneself from the burden of resentment and anger. When we hold on to these negative emotions, they not only harm our mental well-being but also hinder our personal growth and happiness. The Stoic philosopher Seneca once said, "Anger is the greatest enemy of wisdom." Anger and resentment not only cloud our clarity but also strip us of the ability to perceive situations objectively. When we forgive, we do not only release ourselves from negative emotions but also pave the way to continue living in a lighter and more peaceful manner. Forgiveness is a process that requires patience and self-awareness. Sometimes, we may have to face deep wounds, and forgiveness may not happen immediately. However, when we begin this process, every small step brings us closer to inner peace. Forgiveness is not a gift we give to others, it is a gift we give to ourselves. Self-control, the key to inner peace. Self-control is a fundamental principle in Stoic philosophy. It is the ability to remain calm and composed in difficult situations instead of letting emotions dictate our actions. When we talk about self-control, it does not mean suppressing emotions but rather the ability to recognize and manage them consciously. Imagine you are in a heated argument, harsh words may anger you, and your natural reaction might be to respond in the same manner. However, if you practice self-control, you will have the ability to pause, reflect, and choose a different response, such as remaining silent or replying in a calmer, more composed manner. This not only helps you maintain your composure but also prevents the argument from escalating into a larger conflict. Self-control is also closely related to the ability to distinguish between what we can control and what we must let go of. Stoicism emphasizes that we can only control our thoughts, emotions, and actions. What others say or do, as well as external circumstances, are beyond our control. When we accept this truth, we stop wasting energy on worrying or getting angry over things we cannot change. The combination of forgiveness and self-control. The integration of forgiveness and self-control is a powerful tool that helps us live a more peaceful and fulfilling life. When we forgive, we free ourselves from the burden of resentment and create space for tranquility. When we practice self-control, we maintain clarity and composure in difficult situations, avoiding unnecessary negative reactions. Think about the times you have been angry or hurt by someone else's actions. If you can both forgive and control your response, you will not only protect your mind from negative emotions but also preserve healthy relationships with those around you. This is the true power of combining forgiveness and self-control. Practicing forgiveness and self-control in daily life. To practice forgiveness and self-control, we must start by recognizing and accepting our emotions. When you feel anger or hurt, take a moment to acknowledge these feelings without immediately acting on them. Do not try to deny those emotions. Instead, acknowledge that you are feeling that way and ask yourself what has made you feel like that. Is there another way to perceive this situation? Next, practice letting go of negative emotions by forgiving. Forgiveness does not mean forgetting or ignoring what has happened, but rather choosing not to let it continue to affect you. Finally, cultivate self-control by remaining calm in difficult situations and remembering that you can only control your own reactions. In conclusion, forgiveness and self-control are two essential factors that help us maintain peace and happiness in life. When we learn how to forgive and control our emotions, we not only protect our minds from negative influences but also create a more peaceful and harmonious life. These are valuable lessons that Stoicism offers, helping us live a meaningful and serene life. Self-control, the key to managing life and emotions. Self-control is one of the core elements of Stoic philosophy, and it plays a crucial role in helping us maintain inner peace amidst life's uncertainties. When we talk about self-control, it is not merely the ability to resist momentary desires but also the capacity to regulate our emotions, thoughts, and actions, especially in challenging situations. Self-control, the strength to resist temptations. In life, we frequently encounter temptations and challenges that require self-control to overcome. This could be as simple as refusing a sweet treat when you are trying to stick to a diet, or as complex as managing your anger during an intense argument. In such situations, self-control is the key that allows us to act rationally and not be driven by fleeting desires or emotions. Stoicism emphasizes that self-control is not just a necessary skill but also the foundation for leading a good and meaningful life. When we can regulate our desires and emotions, we no longer make impulsive decisions or take actions that we may later regret. Instead, we develop the ability to choose actions that align with our values and long-term goals. Emotional self-control, protecting inner peace. One of the most important aspects of self-control is the ability to manage emotions. When we can control our emotions, we are able to remain calm and clear-headed, without allowing external factors to disrupt our inner peace. This not only helps us make better decisions but also brings a sense of tranquility and fulfillment in life. In life, there is no shortage of situations that can make us feel angry, sad, or anxious. However, if we allow these emotions to dominate us, we will easily lose our inner peace and make unwise decisions. Self-control over emotions does not mean suppressing or denying them. On the contrary, it is the ability to recognize and understand our own emotions and then choose the most appropriate way to respond to the situation. When you practice emotional self-control, you will develop the ability to pause and think before acting. This not only helps you avoid negative consequences but also enables you to maintain good relationships with those around you. For example, when you encounter a stressful situation, instead of immediately reacting with anger, you can take a moment to pause, take a deep breath, and think about the best way to respond. This not only helps you remain calm but also prevents the situation from escalating further. Developing self-control through daily habits. Self-control is a skill that can be developed and strengthened through daily habits. A simple way to practice self-control is to set personal rules and commit to following them. For instance, you might decide not to check your phone during meals or to limit your time on social media. These rules, when followed strictly, will help you cultivate self-discipline and gradually gain mastery over your life. Stoicism also encourages practicing small daily challenges to train patience and self-control. For example, you can try intermittent fasting for a certain period of time or endure mild discomfort, such as taking cold showers. These small challenges help you learn to accept discomfort and develop self-discipline in resisting temporary desires. Self-control is an ongoing journey. Most importantly, remember that self-control is a long journey and not always easy. There will be times when you struggle and may fail to manage your emotions or actions. However, what truly matters is that you recognize your mistakes, learn from them, and continue to improve. Every time you successfully control your emotions or actions in difficult situations, it is a small victory, a step forward on this long journey. Acknowledge and take pride in these achievements, no matter how small, because they are evidence of your growth and progress. Combining self-control with patience and mindfulness. Self-control should also be combined with patience and mindfulness to achieve the best results. Patience allows you to face challenges without losing your composure, while mindfulness helps you recognize and observe your emotions objectively. When self-control is integrated with these elements, you will be able to face any difficulty with greater clarity and wisdom. In conclusion, self-control is not just a desirable virtue but also the foundation for living a peaceful and fulfilling life. When we learn to control our thoughts, emotions, and actions, we not only gain mastery over ourselves but also create a life that is meaningful and harmonious. We not only protect our souls from negative influences but also open the path to true growth and freedom. This is the valuable lesson that Stoicism brings to us, helping us live a meaningful and peaceful life. The power of patience, the art of waiting with serenity. In the modern world, where everything seems to happen at a rapid pace, patience has become an increasingly rare but immensely valuable virtue. According to Stoic philosophy, patience is not merely the ability to wait without feeling frustrated but also the art of maintaining inner peace when facing difficulties and obstacles. Patience not only helps us endure the challenges of life but also transforms moments of waiting into opportunities for training and growth. Patience is not just about waiting, but how you wait. One of the common misconceptions about patience is the belief that it is simply the ability to wait. However, true patience is not just about waiting, it is about how you wait. When you are standing in a long queue or dealing with a prolonged project, it is not the waiting itself that makes you impatient, but rather how you react to that waiting. Patience is about maintaining calmness and serenity even when things do not go as planned. Stoicism teaches that every time we encounter delays or obstacles, it is an opportunity to practice patience. Instead of feeling frustrated or angry, we can choose to view the situation more positively and see it as a test of our patience. This approach not only helps to reduce stress but also makes life more enjoyable. Adjusting expectations, the key to patience. One of the main reasons we lose patience is the gap between our expectations and reality. When things do not go according to plan or take longer than we anticipated, it is easy to feel disappointed and impatient. However, Stoicism emphasizes that life does not always conform to our desires, and it is crucial to adjust our expectations to align with reality. For example, if you are stuck in traffic and feel anxious about being late, instead of getting frustrated, you can shift your perspective. Remind yourself that traffic congestion is an inevitable part of urban life and that there is nothing you can do to change it. Rather than getting angry, you can use this time to listen to an audiobook, reflect on your work, or simply relax and appreciate the present moment. Using waiting time effectively. Another way to develop patience is to turn waiting time into an opportunity to do something useful. Instead of feeling that time is being wasted, you can make the most of it by completing small tasks or engaging in self-improvement. For instance, while waiting for a meeting to start, you can read a few pages of a book, jot down new ideas, or simply take deep breaths to relax. These small actions not only give you a sense of control but also help cultivate the habit of patience in a natural and effortless way. For example, if you have to wait for a long time during an appointment, instead of mindlessly scrolling through social media, you can use this time to read a book, write in a journal, or practice deep breathing to reduce stress. This practice not only helps you develop patience but also makes you feel that time passes faster and more meaningfully. You will no longer see waiting as a burden, instead, it will become a positive part of your daily life. Patience and inner serenity. Patience not only helps us overcome obstacles but also contributes to building inner serenity. When we are patient, we are no longer caught in the whirlwind of stress and anxiety. Instead, we learn to accept things as they are. This brings a sense of peace and comfort, even in the most challenging situations. This serenity comes from understanding that not everything is within our control. Rather than trying to change things beyond our reach, we choose to focus on what we can control, which is our own reactions and emotions. When we cultivate patience, we gradually develop the ability to remain calm in the face of life's uncertainties. This not only helps us handle difficulties more effectively but also brings deep satisfaction and happiness. Combining patience with mindfulness and self-control. Patience, when combined with mindfulness and self-control, becomes a powerful tool for maintaining peace and happiness in life. Mindfulness helps us focus on the present moment and observe everything objectively, while self-control allows us to manage our emotions and actions. When these three elements are combined, we gain the ability to face any situation with clarity and wisdom, without being swept away by negative reactions. Practicing patience in daily life. To develop patience, start with small things in daily life. Challenge yourself by waiting without feeling restless or facing obstacles without losing your composure. Every time you succeed in maintaining patience, it is a small victory, a step forward in cultivating inner peace. In summary, patience is an essential virtue for living a happy and meaningful life. When we learn to be patient, we not only develop the ability to face challenges but also cultivate a state of peace and serenity. This is the valuable lesson that Stoicism offers, helping us live a more fulfilling and satisfying life. Dear friends, Stoicism, with its profound principles of forgiveness and self-control, provides us with powerful tools to lead a peaceful and happy life. When we understand and apply the lessons of this philosophy, we not only free ourselves from the burdens of resentment and anger but also learn to manage our emotions in every situation. Forgiveness is not a sign of weakness but a powerful act to protect the soul from unnecessary suffering. Self-control is not about suppressing emotions but about deeply understanding what we can change and letting go of what is beyond our control. Life is always full of challenges and difficulties, but with the guidance of Stoicism, we can face all changes while maintaining inner peace. Remember that every step on this journey is a step toward growth and tranquility. Thank you for accompanying Stoic wisdom on the path of exploring and applying this philosophy to life. Continue to cultivate forgiveness and self-control so that each passing day brings sustainable peace and happiness. Don't forget to follow the upcoming videos to continue this journey with us. And always remember that true peace comes from within each person.